Shabbat shalom to the 12 tribes that scattered abroad. Happy Sabbath to the 12 tribes that scattered abroad. First of all, before we get started, man, we want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. We want to give all praise and thank him and glorify him for letting us see another Sabbath, another day that create a day that he created. Welcome back to the reading of the Bible with your brother Nehemiah. Man, how y'all doing today, Israel? How everybody doing today? Well, today, man, we're gonna be into in the reading of the Bible. We're in chapter 38, I think. Yes, we're gonna begin with chapter 38 today, and we left off with Genesis chapter 37, and they were telling you about the generation of Jacob. Joseph being the 17-year-old. Remember, Joseph was the Rachel son. See, he was the first son for Rachel, but he was Jacob's youngest son. Jacob had him in an old age. And that's when Joseph went to telling dreams. He was having dreams, and he was telling them that they shelf was his shelf stood tall and they shelf stood around him, like bowing down, giving him honor. Then he told him another dream about the sun and the stars even bow down to him. But his daddy Jacob, he kept the thought. He observed the thought. I mean, he kept the thought in mind. He observed the thought. So his daddy had sent him to go check on his brother them where they was feeding the sheep. When they took the sheep to go graze. And he went to go check on them to bring back a report to their father. And they seen him coming and they plot together they wanted to kill him. But Reuben told him no, he saved him. So they throwed him in the pit in the well, an empty well. And they seen some some Ishmaelites coming, and they sold them. That remember that was Judah brought up. And I did say, I want to confirm that about me saying about the all the 12 tribes was so they were sold too, but they wasn't sold like Judah was. But Judah was the one that brought it up about selling their brother. What profit could we make by shedding his blood? So he made money off. And they agreed, so everybody had got sold. All the 12 tribes been sold, but Judah was the worst. Judah had it the worst. So they sold them, they took them down into Egypt and sold them to one of Pharaoh's captains. And his name was Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. And now we're going to pick up in Genesis chapter 38. So everybody get their King James Version with the Apocrypha out. If you don't have the Bible with your Apocrypha, you can download it on your phone. You know, I had the original Bible and I have my original Apocrypha hand, and I got it on my phone. Shalak, excuse me. And we'll begin. Oh, praise him. Oh, praise him. Another Sabbath. Okay, let's begin. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 38, verse 1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Harai, Harai has different meaning depending on its origin, but common interpretation include white, noble, and liberty in Hebrew. So in Hebrew, I know I ain't pronouncing this name right. Let's get the pronouncing of it. I hate when they do it like that. Hira. I guess that's how I pronounce. I don't want to go all the way out of it trying to get the pronouncing. And I do it like this then. I don't even know how I want to do it. I need an extra phone. I can't wait till I get me a little computer set up. They're going to read the whole thing.
And it came to pass at that time, that Judah went down from his brethren, and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was
Hira. Whose name was Hira. Okay. So, Judah is the fourth brother, Leah's son, Jacob's first wife, who his uncle Laban gave him beside Rachel, before Rachel. Remember, Leah had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. He the fourth brother. That's the Judah. The Judites are the so-called. Judah is the progenitor of the so-called African American Negroes, Judites. That's what they are called. But again, from the top. And it came to pass at that time that Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah, went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Harai. Verse 2. Let me see something. This Adullamite. Let's see what that means. Adullamite. An Adullamite is a person who has left a political group to join a smaller descended one based on the biblical story of David. The term original referred to a group of 19th century British politicians who withdrew from the Liberal Party in 1866 to oppose a reform bill.
Adullamite.
So it's a member of a descended political group. That was a Adullamite there. So he turned into a certain Adullamite whose name was Harai. Verse 2. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite. So you know the Canaanite is the Hamite. They from the tribe of Hamites. Them the one God told us we really can't, we don't supposed to be married to them African ones. We gonna get to that too. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. So that's what I believe conceived the marriage. So I believe in the Bible by sex, having sex with a woman, that confident marriage. We already seen what Isaac did, what Abraham did, what Isaac did, what Jacob did. We already seen them, how they married. It wasn't no worldly thing going down to the courthouse or having a bigger ass wedding. Now, I didn't say they did not, what y'all call them, the little thing y'all have probably before or after the wedding, a little gathering, the celebration. They did that, but it's when like they stood in front of it and gave out vows. No. By they going into their bed and the man going into her concealed the marriage. That would conceal marriage. Let's keep reading. Verse 3. So he went into, he saw a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her. Verse 3. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name So she conceived, and she bare him a son. Verse 4. And she conceived again. So she had another one and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. Verse 5. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chizib when she bared him. So Judah came up with 3 sons by Shua. Shua bare him 3 sons that were and Onan and Shelah. And they was at Chizib when she bare him. Verse 6. And Judah took a wife from his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Now, Judah went and got a wife for his firstborn son, brought back to him. And verse 7, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him, meaning he killed him. So was wicked in the sight of the Lord. So the Most High had slew him, he killed him. Then with Judah firstborn, his firstborn son, Judah and Shua firstborn son. Verse 8. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. So Judah telling the second son to go into his brother's wife. He telling the second son to go into his brother's wife and marry her. Go into his brother's wife and marry her. See, sex conceal the marriage, but you wondering why he giving his brother wife to him. Go to the book of Deuteronomy, precept. This verse 8. Deuteronomy chapter 25. Ain't chapter 25. Hold on. Yeah. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 25. We're going to start with verse 5. This is a precept to what Judah was telling his second son, Onan, to go into his brother's wife and marry, his daughter-in-law and marry. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead should not marry without unto a stranger, meaning she cannot go out and marry a stranger. She's supposed to marry his brother, because let me finish reading. Let's go on. Her husband, brother, shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife and perform the duty of an husband, brother unto her. So he performing a duty of a husband, brother to her. Cause his brother ain't have no child. So he bringing up a seed in his name. He doing the brother duty, what he's supposed to do. Let's continue reading it. This verse 6. And it shall be that the firstborn which she buried shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. Explain itself. The Bible is self-explanatory itself. You don't have to do nothing but read it. Ask for the understanding. And he gonna give it to you. He gonna give you the wisdom. You don't have to do nothing but read it. It just told you exactly why Judah told his second son to marry his brother's wife. So the law was already him. This Deuteronomy. Before Moses even brought the laws down. This Deuteronomy chapter 25. And we read in Genesis, the beginning. We ain't even got to Moses yet. Moses ain't even born yet. So the law was already him. It had to be him. It had to come him. Look what the world was looking like. I'm going to put another precept. Go to Matthew on the same thing. Matthew 22. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 24. Saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. Verse 25. Seed meaning offspring. Y'all know them children. Verse 25. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased. Meaning he died. excuse me, Salaki, them heartburn be killing me, and have no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise, verse 26, likewise the second also, and the third unto the seventh. Verse 27, and last of all, the woman died also. Check this out. Therefore, this when they were trying to catch Jesus up in a lie. Catch Yahweh Shai up in a lie. Check it out. They were trying to get him to what's the word I'm looking for? To confound himself. You know, even make him look like a hypocrite. Verse 28, therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the seven? For they all had her. Verse 29, Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. Verse 30, for in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are let me see, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the, verse 31, but as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, I am the God, verse 32, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. They were trying to kid Yahweh Shai up and trying to get him to confound himself so they can condemn them. But you see what he had just said to him. God is not the Father, the God of the dead, but of the living. But she ain't going to be, she's nobody's wife right then. She's nobody's wife. Let's go back to Genesis 38. And we was in verse 8. Yeah, we was in verse 8. Verse 8 again from the top. And Judah said unto Owen, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. We got you got the precepts for that. Deuteronomy 25 and 5 through 6, and Matthew 22, 24. Verse 9, and Owen knew that the seed should not be his. So the brother knew, the second son knew that the seed would not be his. Why would you do some wicked evil like that when this a law? This a law. See, that's why it's 613 law. It's not just 10 law. This is a law. This is a commandment. Because God telling you that. We read it in Deuteronomy chapter 25. Verse 9 again from the top. And Owen knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. That's being wicked. You can't even, if for your brother's name would not be destroyed out of Israel, dismissal out of Israel, and you couldn't even do that, you ain't did nothing wrong. He ain't said you couldn't get now another wife. You doing this for your brother. Some God commanded you to do. So you have to read these scriptures to get an understanding. A person I can't even tell you. That's why I tell y'all to pull out y'all King James with me and read along with me and get so you can see what these words saying. Because that's what it had to take me. I kept listening to people. That's why I couldn't get the understanding. I kept listening to these Christians. God loved the whole world and all that. But then when I heard it a certain type of way, how the Bible was read, it sparkled my spirit. And I was concerned. Isaiah chapter, 1, verse 3. I was concerned. And I wanted to know, do the Bible really speak like this? Now imagine, I'm telling you, I never read it. But it had me thinking God loved the Christianity had me thinking God loved the whole world. God don't hate. It had me thinking a lot and not the truth. So I read it again by me being in the truth with my eyes open. When he took that delusion off me and my eyes opened up to the truth, and when I read it, it really shocked me, and I'm like, wow, and they teaching us these lies. So we are the children. It's not the whole world. It really shocking. Let's continue. But he spilled it on the floor. It came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, so she became his wife, that he spilled it on the ground, least that he should give seed to his brother. That's why back in Matthew, they asked, who wife would she be in the afterlife, in the kingdom? That's why they asked that. Because she is his wife now, because he went in unto her. She became of the 7 brothers, all of them wife. And I guess all of them did it the same way. I don't know. Let's read. Let's find out. Verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased it, meaning was evil. It was evil, wicked. It was evil in the eyes of the Lord. You know it. And the thing, 10 from the top again. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord. Wherefore he slew him also. He killed him too. Because you did not follow my commandment. You did not do what I tell you to do. As of the day, we do not follow the laws, commandment, and the statutes of the Most High. And you are the chosen one, Israel. You supposed to be the light to the world, teaching the other nation. See, you trying to be like the other nation when the other nation know who you is and they trying to be like you. Look how them white girls getting popped with them black girl booty, with them Israelite booties. I ain't gonna say no black girl, cause you got the Hispanics, you got the Native Americans, and you got the Africans. I meant the so-called African Americans, the Negro. That's the Israelite community. That's the Israelite family. That's the Israelite nation. And they trying to be like y'all, and y'all trying to be like them. Throwing all these colors of red, all these different colors of hair in your head. That do not look good. If God wanted you to have that color of hair, he would have gave it to you. You hate yourself because you put all that makeup on. You dress yourself up to try to make yourself look good when you beautiful as are. You don't like what God made. You hate yourself. You don't see me or no other man. You got some mans do it, but all that makeup, I'm as I am. All them chemicals, I'm as he made me, that's how I am. I don't do none of that other stuff. All that putting stuff on your skin, your face, your make. No. You are you are. So it displeased the Lord, and he slew him. Verse 11. Then said Judah to Tamar. Now, this her father-in-law saying to her, this Onah, that's their daddy, Judah. Verse 11 again from the top. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain, meaning stay, a widow at thy father's house. He tell her, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah, his baby son, my son be grown, till he be grown. Remember it was On, and Shelah. For he said, least peradventure, meaning he died also. Least peradventure he died also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. So she went back to her father's house. Ain't looked for now another man. She was waiting down the lineage for Judah to give her sons up, because she followed the commandments of God. Even though she is she's an Israelite. No, she's not. Because Judah went and got a wife. It ain't say where he went and got her from. Let's go back up for a minute. He's saying Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. She's not an Israelite, but this done put me on to some, because I just, no, she's not an Israelite. This on my time, him with what I just found out. I got to go back on that. I got to go back to verse 6 on that. But it never said where she was from, so she can't be the Israelite. So verse 11, read it from the top. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah, my son, be grown. For he said, least peradventure he died also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Verse 12. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. It say in process of time, the daughter of Shua, that Judah wife, died. So Shua's daughter died, and Judah was comforted. No. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua. Shua is, okay, let's go back to the top right quick. See, that's why I call this true seeker of Yahweh, because we gonna seek for the truth. I don't want to give y'all no wrong thing. We don't got to do. I go back to the top and remember see what we read. It said, and it came to pass, blah, 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 Duamite. And Judah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. Okay, the Canaanite dude's name was Shua. So, so it really doesn't matter with the woman because you are your father. A man, the only one can produce a seed. A man can only one make a baby. A woman can carry a baby. She had an egg to carry the baby. That's why when you take a blood test and the blood test said 99.9% you are the father, because 0.1% ain't nothing but of the mother. Ain't saying it won't get characteristic or looks from her, the mama. Not saying that. A man can only produce a seed. A woman can't not have a baby unless a man shoot a seed up in her. Unless she get a sperm says seed shoot up in her. That's the only way. But sure, it's the Canaanite, and he the one had the daughter. So Judah wife died. That's who this was. In process, verse 12. Back to 12. And in process of time, the daughter of Shur, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shearer to Timnath. And to Timnath, he and his friend Harah, the Adullamite. So Judah went up to Timnath, him and his friend Harah, the Adullamite, remember, from up in verse 1. Verse 13. And it was told Tamar. It was told his daughter-in-law. Tamar is the daughter-in-law, remember? That's who he went and got Tamar for and brought him back to Then died. God slew him because he was wicked in the sight of God's eye. So Judah told Onan to go into him because ain't had no child by her. So he told him to go into him. He went into him, but he pulled out and spilled the seed on the floor, on the ground. And that displeased God. So God slew him. So Judah told her to wait at her father's house, remain at her father's house until Shelah, his third son, could be old enough, and he won't let him marry. So, verse 13, and it was told Tamar that he would go up there, that Judah would go to Timnath, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. So he was taking the sheep, him and his friend the Adullamite, were taking the sheep up there to shear the sheep. Verse 14, and she put her widow garment off from her. So she took her widow garment off. She kept her widow garment on because she had two dead husbands, two brothers. Both of them God took. And it said, and she put her widow's garment off from her and covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in an open place. So she took off her widow garment and she covered herself in a veil and wrapped herself up. So she sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. So she sat right there by the way where Judah fit to walk, him and his sheep and his Adullamite friend. So which by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. So she was pissed off because she was honoring the law. She had to be a God-fearing woman, even though she was not a Israelite. Remember, she's the daughter of a Canaanite, sure. So she's a Canaanite. But she was type of pissed off because she was supposed to be, she was following the laws. We'll get to it. And I explain it then. So she was kind of pissed off. So for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. So he lied, and basically Judah lied to her. Cause remember he said when Shalai get grown, pre-adventure, he died too, but he was gonna hand him to be her husband, and she can wife and be his wife. Verse 15. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she had covered her face. That's why she put a veil on and covered herself up. So he thought, when he thought she was a harlot. We all know what a harlot means. Let's get the definition of harlot.
Harlot.
A woman who has many casual sexual encounters or relationship. A prostitute. So that's a harlot. That's what they called them back then in the Bible. A harlot. Okay. So Judah saw her and he thought that she was a harlot because she covered her face. Verse 16. And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. So he thought she was a harlot. So he wanted to go into her. So he prayed that she let him come into her. Remember, he ain't got no wife. His wife dead now. But it probably wouldn't matter anyway. Let's continue in verse 16. And she said, but he didn't know that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? So she asked, what will I give you? She acting like a prostitute, but she already know who this is. She know this her father-in-law. She finna get back at him because she looking for revenge, I guess, because he promised her Shelah, his third son. And verse 17, and he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Will thou give me a pledge till thou send it? So a pledge, let's see what that is. Define pledge.
Pledge.
Pledge. A solemn promise or undertaking. So it's a promise. Number 2. Definition number 2. A thing that is given as security for the fulfillment of a contract or the payment of a debt and is liable to forfeiture in the event of failure. Surety, bond, security. So that sounds like more what she was looking for, something for security until the kid from the flock come. That's what a pledge means. Meaning making a security, a promise, a bond, a surety. Let's continue. Verse 18. And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. So she asked for thy signet. Let's see what this is. Define signet.
Signet.
A small seal, especially one set in a ring, used instead of or with a signature to give authentication to an official document. So that's something like a seal. And thy bracelet, we know what that bracelet is, and thy staff. A staff is like, let's see what the definition of that. Because a staff, I got a staff like what Moses had.
Staff.
All the people employed by a particular organization, that's the ain't the staff we talking about. A group of officers assisting an officer in the command of an army formation or administration headquarters. That ain't what we talking about. It's a long stick. This is what we talking about. A long stick used as a support when walking or climbing or as a weapon. I have one. What is that? I think it's in my room though. I have one. I call it my Moses staff. But she said, thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it her and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. So he gave her all these things, where she said to ask for the whole until the kid flock come from the flock. And she got pregnant. He went into her and she got pregnant. Now, remind you now, he don't know that's his daughter-in-law. Check this out. Let's continue. Verse 19. And she arose and went up and went away and laid by her veil from her. And laid by her veil from her, and put on the garment of her widowhood. So, as she rose, she went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garment of her widowhood. So she put back on the garment of her widowhood, knowing that she don't even know that she pregnant, she conceived. She don't know this. He don't know. Nobody know right now. But I know he promised her his son. And why, I don't know why she took advantage and just wanted to sleep. Because she knew he was. He ain't know who she was. She was wrapped up. But why would she want to sleep with the father? Let's continue. Verse 20. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adullamite to receive his plague from the woman's hand, but he found her not. So he sent the Adullamite, he sent the kid with the Adullamite to receive his plague from the woman, but the Adullamite ain't found him. Then he asked, verse 21, then he asked the man of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this play. So the Adullamite asked the people in that play, like asking what a harlot was. And they told him it wasn't no harlot there. Meaning that was opening, meaning in plain view. She was open in sight. You know how the women be, the prostitute be standing on the block so you can see them. They open, they in plain view. You can see them openly. But they said there was no harlot there. Verse 22. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the man of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. Verse 23. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. Verse 24. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, tomorrow thy daughter-in-law had played the harlot. And also, behold, She is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. So, verse 24 reading that 3 months later, that it came back to Judah that his daughter-in-law Tamar had played the harlot. She played the harlot. And also, behold, she was with child. That's how they say she played the harlot. Remember, she probably got the widow hood on, and she's supposed to be waiting for Shalom, Judah baby boy. She's supposed to be waiting for him. So, but she played the harlot by him, and he don't even know this. So now he telling them to bring her him. He pissed off about it, but he don't know that it was him that slept with her. Let's keep going. I ain't trying to tell y'all the story. I want to read it. I want y'all to read it. Verse 25. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child. Now, you know how your father-in-law look. So why is you playing crazy like that? By the man, but with these from, that's who I'm pregnant by. You seen Judah face. You know what Judah looked like. You already know what he looked like. So I feel like, I don't know how I feel about that. Why she said it like that. Again, 25 from the top again. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child. And she said, discerning, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and bracelet and staff. She acting like she don't know that was Judah. But you already heard, they told you Judah was on his way to Timnah. So you went and took all your widow stuff off and put on a veil and covered yourself and went and sought in the way to Timnah. So how you ain't know there was Judah? Why all this come out like that? See, pay attention to the story. She know what's going on. She know what she did. She know what she doing. Because she was promised something. She was in a lineage. She was in a lineage, and she ain't gave birth to now, but she giving birth to Judah's son. So this it'd be Judah's son's brothers. The first two husbands she had, them his brother. What she pregnant with now? By Judah. Let's continue. Verse 26. And Judah acknowledged them. And said, she had been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son, and he knew her again no more. Meaning he ain't slept with her no more. But he said she was much righteous, because he did supposed to been gave her son to him, his son to her. That was the righteous thing to do, because that's what God said to do. Remember, Deuteronomy chapter 25. It's a commandment. Everything piece to piece. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Here a little, there a little. Even Judah said she was more righteous than him. But it seemed like she was being deceitful, conniving, manipulated. It seemed like she was doing all that, but she was all righteous in what she was doing. Let's continue. But he seen her no more. He knew her no more, meaning he ain't slept with her no more. But she conceived a son. Verse 27. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, meaning giving birth, that behold, twins were in her womb. Who else ended like that? This sounded like what? Genesis chapter 25. Esau and Jacob. Twins was in her wombs. Verse 28. And it came to pass when she travailed that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound up his hand a scarlet thread. So when she was in travail giving birth, one put out his hand, stuck his hand out. So the midwife took and bound up upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. But he just stuck his hand out. He came out. Verse 29. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez, meaning breach or breakthrough. He came through, he broke through his brother, stuck his hand out there first. So that seemed like some Esau them stuff. When Jacob grabbed Esau heel, but he snatched Esau, he grabbed Esau and followed Esau out. Came behind Esau, meaning when Esau come out of rulership, Jacob right behind it. That's what that means. This right here, I really don't got an answer for this, but what I'm thinking, he broke forth through. He snatched them back in when he stuck his hand out there and got that thing tied on him. Now I'm gonna be the firstborn. He snatched them back in, and he broke through first. He came through, or he probably just climbed over and I don't know. I'm just reading what I read. You know. Get the best understanding of what you read. Let's continue. Verse 30. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Zerah. That was the end of chapter 38. That was the end of chapter 38. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 39, verse 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelite, which had brought him down there. Now Joseph, now we jumping back to Joseph, who Judah and his brother them sold, the other brothers. They sold Joseph, their brother. They sold him to the Ishmaelite, and they brought him down to Egypt, and they sold him to Potiphar, officer of Pharaoh. And he bought him from off their hand, from the Ishmaelite. Verse 2. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Successful. Prosperity means successful. So the Lord was with him. See, All this is God doing. Everything about killing, wounding, anything that goes on is God doing. God's will or God doing, however you want to say it. Satan have to get permission from God. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39, he said, I do all these things. I kill, I wound, I make a lot. I do all these things. Ain't no God with me. So this, and they say God is with him. So God did this to him. Why did God do this to him? Why did God put on his heart to make him say these things about the dream to his brother? Why did God put on his brother's heart to have hatred for him? Why? See, these are things you ask when you be reading. Why, when, what, where? You ask these things to get an understanding. Why his brother them sold him like that? Because he was a dream mouth. He would tell a dream. That sounds like a good thing. Just like God turned the hearts of every man around. He put that in them. He put that thought in them that harm their brother. He put that thought in Reuben to save his brother. He put that thought in Judah to bring up to sell his brother. But why? Let's continue. Verse 3. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. So the Egyptian, Potiphar, he seen that God was with him. Because he prospered in everything. He became success. Anything he put his hands on, he became successful. Anything he touched, because God was with him the whole time he was gone from his family in Egypt. Why? We still want to know why, though. Let's continue. Verse 4. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. So Joseph found grace. This the thing with God. You see how God make your enemies become your footstool? Look how he the master. But look how he looking up to him, because he know God's with him. God's on this man's side. If I bless this man, God gonna bless me. If I do right by this man, God gonna do right by me. So Joseph found grace in the sight of his master's eye, meaning he found favor. And he served him, and he made him overseer. So the master made him overseer of everything in his house, and all that he had, he put into his hand. He gave it him to take care of it, to watch it, to keep it. He trusted him because why? God was with him. The Lord was with him the whole time. Let's continue. Verse 5. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. See? Because he blessed him. What he told Abraham? You're going to be a blessing. I'm going to bless those who bless you. I'm going to curse those who curse you. You're going to prosper. And everything you do. Abraham, the same thing he told Abraham, he told to Isaac. Same thing he told Abraham, Isaac, he told it to Jacob. Granddaddy, daddy, son. And they're going to go for the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, verse 5 again from the top. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Everything his master had, God blessed it in the house and in the field because of Joseph's sake. Take care of my servant and I take care of you. Meaning, do not touch my servants. Do not put your hands on my anointing. Or there will be consequences. There will be consequences. Verse 6. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had saved the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Now he left everything in Joseph's hand for Joseph to take care of. And he knew not aught. He knew not anything he had except the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person, meaning he was a handsome, in form of an appearance and his appearance. He that's just running the Israelite family. But because we made every split of our father. But he was a handsome man, a goodly person, and well favored. Verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. So now his master wife, who put everything in his hand, everything but the wife. But it said he put everything in the house and in the field in his hand, right? But he didn't put the wife in his hand. You'll see. But she cast her eye upon him. Meaning, long eyes. She. You know how they do when you like something, you want it. That man like it or that woman like it, she want. What they give you that stare down, that look. Y'all start eyeing each other down. That's what she did. She started staring him down because she liked the way she see. He was well handsome. His appearance, he was just handsome. Let's continue. And she said, and she told him to lie with him, sleep with him, want him to come into her. You my master wife. That wouldn't even look right. And plus you an Egyptian. God put a difference between us. Let's continue. Verse 8. But he refused and said unto his master wife, behold, my master wanted, W-O-T-T-E-T-H. Hold on. Definition, you know it. It won't even give me the pronouncing of it. Wanted is an archaic English word meaning knows or is aware of. It is the third person singular present tense of the obsolete verb with wit or what, wote, what, wote. So it means you knows or you're aware. So he was saying, behold, my master knows not what is with in the house except through me. What is with me in the house. So he know what he's saying is my master know what he left with me in this house. And he had committed all that he had to my hands. This Joseph talking to the master wife. Verse 9. There is none greater in this house than I. Ain't nobody greater than this house. Remember, he put him over all his stuff. And this Joseph talking to the master wife. There's none greater in this house than I. Neither had he kept back anything from me but thee. He ain't kept nothing from him but her, his wife. Because thou art his wife. Because why? Because thou art his wife. And that's a law against that. Thou should not commit adultery. That's sleeping with another man's wife or sleeping with another woman's husband. That's adultery. Thou should not commit adultery. And that's in the top 10 now. That's in the top 10. Let's continue. How? How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? God-fearing man. God-fearing man. It run in our lineage. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. He made a promise he would not forsake it. How he said, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I made a promise and I will not forsake it. Yeah, he will not forsake it. So he said, how then can I do this great wickedness? Sin. What is sin? Transgression the laws of God. Whosoever committed sin transgresses the law of God. That was sin there. Meaning, you sin by disobeying the Father, his law, not keeping his law. That transgressing this law. What that at? That's in that's John, ain't it? Bear with me, family. I'm trying to think where it's at. I think it's John. John chapter 3. Yeah, verse 4. Whosoever, this is the book of John, this is the book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. Who law? God's law. That's where you sin, by transgressing the laws of God. For sin is the transgression of the law of God. All right, go back to Genesis chapter 39, and we pick back up in verse 10. So he was like, why would I commit this wickedness and sin against God? What man want to transgress God's law? There's a lot of them out here today doing it. That's why we got to get right. That's why we got to get back. Let's continue. Verse 10. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her, or to be with her. So she kept on bugging it every day, but he would not hearken. Your husband trusted me with everything in this house. Everything outside in the field. And this is what you want me to do? And my father been good to me. I've been prosperous. I was being successful. And you want me to sin, commit wickedness, a sin against my God. That's the reason why God don't want us marrying these Hamites. Really marry none of the other nation. It's not that we can't, because you had, look at Judah, he had a Canaanite woman. It's not that we can't. Why he said it is because they will turn you away from your God. They'll turn you away from him. Remember, he's a jealous God. He's a jealous God. Let's continue. Verse 11. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, meaning to do his work, and there was none of the men of the house there within. So when he went in, usually men's be in there. But y'all think that she had something to do with this? I think so. Because ain't no man's in there. Usually when I go in him, they'll be there. But all of a sudden now it ain't, because she want to sleep with him. Let's continue. Verse 12. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. So she grabbed him by his garment and told him to lie with her, but he went. He came up out of his garment and cut up out of there. Verse 13. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, she was fled forth. Fled forth, meaning outside. It said, and it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth when he ran out the door, when he ran outside. Verse 14, that she called unto the man of her house and spake unto them. So what they was at first? One of them in the house, when all of a sudden she called into the man, she told him to go out. Wicked. These the heathen. We got some of them amongst us in our nation too. Do anything just to turn you against your God. For real. I'm trying to make you feel bad. When I came in this truth, I was in a relationship. But like I said, he had told me I was going to lose that family upstairs. He told me that. Because I seen what she was trying to do, what he was saying. trying to make me go against my God. When I realized we weren't supposed to be celebrating Christmas, none of these pick days. She ain't wanted to hear that. I'm going to celebrate Christmas. I'm going to do this. And then you teaching my kids this when I want to teach them the true meaning. Like I told her, right now them kids young. They're going to be on you. Because he know I'm trying to teach them the truth. You teach my children about Christmas, pagan. Halloween, pagan. You see him worshiping demons. Bring them into your house. All these pagan days. That's what you teach. These what they teach our kids. And they'll throw it up. It's for the kids. It ain't for no kids. Not that. We supposed to be teaching them God's law. We supposed to be teaching them things that God taught of. This supposed to be after generation after generation. What Moses gave to us, that's what we supposed to be teaching them. We supposed to be telling them about the Passover, Feast of Dedication, New Moon. We supposed to be the Sabbath. We supposed to be teaching them this. But we teaching them man-made tradition. Let's continue. But like I said, what were they? She put them out the house because she knew what she was going to do that day. She had already made plans what she was going to do. I'm going to get me some of that today. I'm going to get me some of that Hebrew Israelite. Because we look just that damn good. Just that damn good. We're a split image of our Father. (14) again from the top. That she called unto the man of her house and spake unto them, saying, See, he had brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. She just lied. And she said by mocking her to laugh at them, but she lied. Which some they always do. He said she said he came in to her to try to to lie with her. And she cried out. But she been at this man day by day. And the man been turning her down. So this what she told the men that workers unto the men of her house. This what she told them. She getting her lie together. Just like the lady lied on Emmett Till, and they killed that boy like that. You think he ain't gonna get it? You think God ain't gonna let that man get his revenge? He gonna get his revenge. Cause God said revenge is mine. And he gonna use the hands of his people to destroy these mugs. She lied just like that. So this stuff ain't just beginning. It happened way back then with Joseph, before the whole family come to Egypt. Before they even did the 400 years in Egypt as slaves. Then it happened with Tillman. And they're still going on and on. That's why God don't want you dealing with them. Don't marry them. It even says in the book, in the point of time, everybody gonna go back to their own people. And if you get caught up with them, you gonna die with them. It says in the Bible, we'll read it. Let's continue. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lift up my voice and cried that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. Liar. Verse 16. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home, till the master came home. Verse 17. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. Now she telling her husband this lie. Just same way how old God did with Tillman. Pay attention to this, man. Now you really seeing who God people is. Because the same thing that happened to Joseph, and that's one of the 12 brothers of the 12 tribe. The same thing happened to a so-called African American. He's a Judite. Same thing, man. Now you tell me we ain't God people when all these curses gonna be upon us forever. Ain't nobody gonna be able to save us out of this. Nobody but the Messiah. The curses is upon us forever. You'll see it when we read it. Let's continue. Verse 18. And it came to pass, as I lift up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. She sticking to this lie. When she grabbed this man's garment, she grabbed him by the garment. So what could he do? If he wanted to get away, he had to come up out of his garment and get away. Because if he ain't came up out of the garment, he'll been still standing right there. But she lying. This the thing. Verse 19. And it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, which that man gonna believe his wife. He ain't gonna investigate because that's his wife. Maybe later on he'll think about it. But majority of the time, they gonna follow his wife. Because they rude. They don't know how to be men of the house. Verse 19. And it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. His anger was aroused. Verse 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Now, the master took Joseph and put him in prison for a lie. All because his woman said he did this. And the man ain't did. His man was turning her down. She ain't said one time to her husband that she was coming on to him. Not one time. Let's continue. Verse 21. But the Lord was with Joseph. Remember now, the Lord gonna be with Joseph. He was already with him the whole time, remember? When we read that earlier. The whole time. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy. Showed him mercy. Showed him loving kindness, gratitude. It said, show him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. So he showed him mercy and caused him to be viewed with favor by the keeper of the prison. So the guard, he showed mercy. He showed Joseph mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the guard of the prison. So they liked him. Remember, wherever he go, God's with him. So wherever he be, if you ain't cursing him, You're going to get so favors. You're going to get blessed too. Oh, God going to take care of him. We still asking the question why he sent him to it. And look what God's son going through. Look what Joseph going through. When God sent him there, they had their brother themselves. Look what he going through. Look how long he gonna be from his family. After his brother them sold him. Remember they went back and told the daddy that they found dead and had that blood on it. And he told him, yeah, that's his son. So his daddy think his son been killed by a evil beast. So he gonna be a minute. But why did God send him through this? Let's continue. Verse 21 again from the top. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Verse 22. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. So Joseph was shown favor in front of for all of, even the prison. All of them. Verse 23. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. See, the Lord stayed with Joseph the whole time, and he regular prospered. No matter what trials and tribulations he's going through, the Father with him and making him prosper. Meaning, keep his commandment like he said. Keep my commandments. Because remember that what he said? You want me to do wickedness and sin against my God? Meaning, you want me to stop keeping the commandment. Transgress my God's law. But he wouldn't. And the Father taking care of him. He's prospering. They put him in prison. Brother sold him. He found favor. Then a woman went and attacked him. Told her husband, now she got him put in prison. Now he in prison. But that was the end of Genesis chapter 39. And I guess we'll pick up with 40 probably tomorrow sometime. But y'all can go back and read over that. Man, now we really finna get into it. We really finna get into it because the family finna make it to Egypt. The family what I'm talking about is the family of the Israelite. And you'll see how many of them go down in Egypt when they all come. Remember, Joseph already there because he been sold there. Now he in prison right now. Now we doing the thing of Joseph now. God working with you with Joseph. We went through with Judah. You see how God choose one and point them out, but the whole 12 tribe is something. The whole 12 tribe, we are the children of God. But it's certain one like Judah, Joseph. We reading, you'll see why it was certain one he worked. You'll see why Joseph was sent down to Egypt. You're going to see why all that coming up probably in the next chapter. You'll see exactly. And I always remember Joseph can interpret dreams too. God so good. Watch how all this favor he have. Watch how all that favor Joseph find in all these Egyptians. Now these are different people. They ain't like us. Joseph is an Israelite. Now we around the Egyptian, and they look just like us. So that means Would them folk lie to all these years? Talking about the Egyptian folk look white? Nah. Egyptians black, man. Ain't no way in here no white man gonna be down there in Egypt, hot it is. You barely can stand in the sun around him. With that red skin. Nah, man. They've been lying to us the whole time. Yeah. The change face, change a lot. Y'all, man, you gonna read all this in the Bible. Look to change time. Look to change the looks of Yahweh Shai, so-called Jesus Christ. Actually, the Bible tell you what color Jesus is. The Bible tell you what color God is. The Bible even tell you what color the angels is. And they all our complexion. Remember, you made in the image of God, cuz. You made in the image of God. Man. This a good one. That was a good one. But the Sabbath, it already started. I said happy Sabbath to the 12 tribe of Israel. Shabbat Shalom, however you want to say it. But before we end it, we want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Man, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all, Israel, my people, for giving me your ears. Because he said, if a man have an ear, let him hear. And whether he hear or whether he hear or whether he would forbear. Whether he hear or whether he forbear. But y'all need to hearken, man. Are we in the end time? We in the end times, man. And they gonna get worse and worse. Only the Messiah can save you. Israel, man. Like I said, happy Sabbath to y'all, man. And y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sabbath. Cause I'm finna catch Sons of Thunders. I like watching them. And then I'm gonna watch some Battle Act. What's the other one? They already on. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch them. What's the name of them? Oh man, I forgot the name of them. With Yaiquad in it. I watch Sons of Thunder, Battle Axe. I can't think of the name, but they be in Maryland. They up that way. But Yaiquad is one of the leaders. But man, that's what I'm finna do, man. I ain't done. When I do, I'm gonna read me my last thing is reading me a proper chapter. No, my last thing is going over Genesis 38 and verse 6, cause what I seen in there. And I spark something up. But I get to that when we get to it, cause that's way in another book. And it's on down the line before we get to it. It gonna be after the book of Torah. But I seen it in the book of Torah. And what it said, I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang, this. So I see why. It just got me thinking, cause a lot of people, certain Israelite believe that Ruth is a Moabite, and some believe that Ruth is an Israelite. So, but I was on the thing that Ruth is an Israelite, but I'm running up on certain other things too. And that's why I said I just ran up on something else then. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That's why I said I got to go back in it. But I'm not going to say she's an Israelite, she a Moabite. I'm not going to say it because I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I just read the word. I just read the word. Just like he just used the Canaanite Shua, daughter with Judah. That's just the same way Ruth with Boaz. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't matter what the mother is, what nation she from. It really doesn't matter because you are your father. Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. You are your father. So with that being said, family, man, y'all enjoy y'all Sabbath. Enjoy y'all weekend. Kwame Yasharala. Rise up, Israel. And man, everybody have a blessed day. Kwame Yasharala.